So these are the top 3 mods that I would suggest if you are serious about the horsepower and performance. To me, I don't consider things like shading of lights, or or shading your windows. I don't think that should be called a mod, a modification. A mod is something that makes your car faster, louder, more fun to drive. And so mod number 1, I'm gonna show you in a second. Mod number 1 that I always do on my vehicles is cold air intake. I don't care what everybody says. It looks sexy. It changes the sound of your exhaust and definitely improves throttle response. I usually use air raid. I had a Dodge Ram before. Air raid makes excellent quality, larger size intakes. I think this is more power because this time I did not have to do this because this is a Daytona edition. It came with this from the factory. Yeah, I mentioned air raid, but when I went to their website, this is what they showed for my car, Dodge Charger. I don't like this. On the Ram, it was a full box. Like this design that you see on the screen now, it'll allow warm gases from the engine to enter the filter, which is never good. A box from the bottom is better. And mod number 2. Sounds from the inside. And mod number 3, I'm dropping off my car tomorrow at the shop, and they say they will need like a day or 2 because I remember last time I did this on my Challenger, Dodge Challenger, and yeah, it took them like 2 days. It's a lot of work. That's mod number 3. So out of these 3, I have 1 and 2, and mod number 3 is coming. You will see it in a second. But I just wanted to say, caution people again with the exhaust system, right? The exhaust system has a pulse, right? It's not a constant flow of exhaust gases, so it's pulsing based on how the engine works, how different cylinders open. And it's very important to understand that they put the mufflers in specific places for a reason, right? Like the position of the muffler and the resonator and the diameter of pipes and how the pipes are constructed. It's all to create the best environment for that pulse to increase performance. Now, especially with the Challenger that I had before, Scat Pack 6.4, the one that had 470 horsepower, you gotta do a great job at the factory to get that much horsepower from a standard factory vehicle. So on 6.4 especially, the exhaust system is very well thought through, and I would caution people against modifying it like partially. Like what I did when I had a Challenger, I started taking out mufflers, I changed the diameter of the piping, and what I found is that I actually lost torque. Yeah, the car sounded nice, but the torque at the low RPM went down. I noticed that, and I couldn't believe it because everybody says, yeah, just open the entire thing, remove all mufflers, put in like 5-inch pipes. Well, I put in 3-inch pipes, and it made the car slower. And so then the next couple of months after these first mods, I was busy doing other mods to basically get back the torque that I lost, and it finally got back, and it became better when I installed long tube headers. And so this way around with this Dodge Charger 5.7, I'm doing things differently, and I suggest that's how you do it. You don't just replace and delete components of the exhaust system. You do the kit. You do the kit that's specifically designed for your car. You know it's been tuned, and it's expensive, but that's what will give you a better performance, better sound, and you're not gonna lose torque. You're gonna improve torque and improve horsepower. It was loud before.
It's hella loud now.
Yeah, they did run into issues, of course, you know, because it's a complicated install, and I left some negative review on the American Muscle, where I got this, americanmuscle.com. So basically, first off, they screwed up with shipping. Gave me the tracking number. It was supposed to be next day shipping. They charged me $250, and the tracking number did not work. The tracking number did not work, so the package disappeared. UPS had no idea where it is, and then I had to start kind of like an investigation, you know, ask the shipper to look into it, and they were contacting their warehouse. Nobody knew what's going on, and then they reversed the charge for $250, and the package arrived, like, it took 2 days, 2 business days instead of 1, which was fine. And I picked it up in Buffalo, New York, at the UPS. So this is a regular mode. We're gonna try sport mode when I'm on the freeway. And so the first screw up was the shipping. The next screw up was O2 extension cables. Like, this is a kit, $1,950, American made. It was supposed to include everything you need, because it's stainless works, right? Made in Ohio, I think. Yeah, in Ohio. so they give you 6 extensions, but they forgot the proper ones, because it shows in the package description, you know, like instructions to install and what's inside, you know, the contents. But for some reason, even though, you know, they have one kit, so one kit, it's the same set of long tube headers with mid pipes and high flow cats. It's the same one they use for Hellcat 6.4 liter scat pack and Mica 5.7 Hemi charger. And so they give you these extensions for these other 2 engines as well, because evidently they're different. But my guy, the mechanic, ran into a problem on the driver's side rear extension. It was too tight. And he says, according to the package description, you're supposed to have 2 and you connect them together. But he had only 1, you know? And so he had to splice it, rewire it, just add a section from a different one that he didn't use, like for a different, like let's say for a Hellcat or something, right? So he had to build a cable himself, and there's 4 wires inside. Of course, that takes time. But he said this is no big deal. And so that was issue number 2. And issue number 3 was, according to the instructions, you're supposed to not use any gaskets like on the factory car, but you're supposed to just put silicone in there. And actually a tube of silicone was included. And my mechanic says, don't do it. He says, I saw this before, it's gonna start leaking in 4 to 6 months. It's gonna start leaking. So he says, I'm gonna give you, I said, yeah, let's do real gaskets. And so they ordered a pair for $100 Canadian. I'm in Canada. Yeah, it definitely became louder, but I wonder how it's gonna be on the freeway. So we are making our way slowly to the freeway. And all my stuff is on the back seat. Because I asked him to give me back the cats, the old cats, because they're worth a lot of money. Like there've been even known cases here where people cut them out. Like you leave your car somewhere in a shopping center, you know, shopping center's parking lot, and you come back and some guy cut off your cats. It's been known to happen. I saw reports, but not here, but in Toronto, which is 1 hour east. So it's crazy what's going on, because it's hard to find them new, and so people just cut them. And I think there's some precious metals in there, right? And so, yeah, what can I help you with?
Alright, so by the way, I am a data provider for Google and Yelp. And
You call me, stop. You called me yesterday. I'm not interested in your services. Goodbye. There's people, like, you know, they call and they say, hey, we are calling on behalf of Google, which of course they're not calling on behalf of Google, but kind of like what they do with DOT. I always get these emails, you know, hey, business so-and-so, you know, your MCS 150 form is due. If you don't file it, kind of like the email reads like real official, kind of like as if they're writing on behalf of DOT in the States. And even FMCSA sorry, FMCSA admits this problem, that many providers, where all they want to do is just basically file this form on your behalf that you can perfectly do yourself unless you have 3 fingers on one hand only, and they just want to file it on your behalf and of course charge you a commission. Okay, so that's the ramp over there. It doesn't look very busy. So now we're gonna go and see how this baby sounds on an open freeway. Oh yeah, of course these guys are gonna, definitely somebody will go in that ramp. And so issue number 3 was, yeah, the gaskets. So no gaskets came, just a tube of silicone, which is not a good idea. You know, where he's spending 2,000 US on a set of headers. This was 1950 US. And so my mechanics, I said, yeah, let's get factory, you know, metal gaskets. Okay, so we're gonna, let's go sport mode. And so they got the gaskets, but of course factory gaskets are different. Factory gaskets are different. Hold on, what am I trying to do here? Media, no, controls, apps. Performance pages. And so they're different because they have some notches in there, you know, like, but because these are slightly, these new headers, even though the openings for the gases are the same, but the shape of the actual header is slightly different, so those notches were in the way. And so the mechanic had to slightly, you know, modify that gasket, but it worked. And so now I have a real metal okay, this is sport mode. It definitely became faster, I think, you know, it's louder, faster, much better throttle response. And of course we have a truck over there. It sounds nice. It's not too loud. I think on Challenger it was much worse for some reason. I don't know why. Oh, because on the Challenger I didn't use and by the way, I'm using a 94 gas, so which definitely helps. That can be like a mod number 4. I don't know, lots of people are against this, but I tried different types of gas, you know, different octane number, and like, first off, this car 5.7, according to the manual, the recommended gas is 1 level above basic. Which is here in Canada it's 89, so the basic is 87. Manual says use at least 89, and I never use 89. I always use 91, because here again in Canada it's possible to get gas with no ethanol, and I hate ethanol. There have been some lawsuits about this, saying that ethanol, you know, damages your engine. There were some lawsuits from you know, like boat owners, and I think they won. it started shifting. It even started shifting differently, you know. All right, the last thing I want to do is just want to show you launch. I'm trying to find a piece of road where I can do this without people stealing my camera, because I need to leave the camera on the ground. Yeah, the sound changed, the throttle response changed, and of course the fuel economy changed. So I'm pretty sure that now it'll be worse, but that's the price you gotta pay.